The epic saga of Bjorn Ironside, the Viking who became a king. Introduction. Born of legends. In the land of ice and iron, where warriors carved their names into history with blood and steel, there was a name spoken with both awe and fear: Bjorn Ironside. A name that would echo across the seas, whispered by kings who feared his wrath and warriors who sought his glory. The son of Ragnar Lothbrok, the brother of Ivar the Boneless. But more than just a prince of Vikings, Bjorn Ironside was a conqueror, a raider, a kingmaker. This is his story, a story of ambition, a story of fire and sword, a story of a Viking who became a legend, the son of Ragnar. Bjorn was born into greatness. His father, Ragnar Lothbrok, was the scourge of England and France, a warrior king who sought to defy fate itself. From a young age, Bjorn trained with axe and shield, learning the ways of the warrior, the ways of the storm that his people brought upon the world. Unlike his cunning and ruthless brother Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn was a warrior first. He did not need schemes. He did not weave webs of deception. He let his blade speak for him. And when his father, Ragnar, vanished from the world, taken by the hands of King Gla of Northumbria, Bjorn knew what had to be done. The sons of Ragnar would have their vengeance, and Bjorn Ironside would carve his path in history. The Great Heathen Army and the Blood Eagle. The Viking world trembled as the Great Heathen Army assembled. A force unlike any the world had ever seen, thousands of warriors, long ships darkening the seas, an unrelenting storm of vengeance. Bjorn stood beside his brothers, his axe thirsting for retribution. They marched upon England, bringing fire and ruin. And when they captured King Gla, the man who had murdered their father, they showed him no mercy. The Blood Eagle was performed in the most brutal of Viking executions. Bjorn watched as Gla's ribs were torn from his back, his lungs spread like wings, his screams swallowed by the roar of the Northmen. But for Bjorn, this was just the beginning. His hunger for battle was not yet sated. He was not just a warrior, he was a leader, and the world was his to take. The raid on the Mediterranean, a Viking odyssey. While his brothers fought for control over England, Bjorn Ironside sought something greater. He had heard stories of lands beyond the seas, lands of gold and riches, lands untouched by the fury of the Norsemen. And so, with a fleet of longships, Bjorn set sail for the Mediterranean, Spain, France, Italy, even North Africa. Wherever he landed, he left fire and ruin in his wake. But his most legendary conquest was the raid on Luna, a powerful city in Italy. The defenses were too strong, the walls unbreakable. A siege was impossible. But Bjorn was more than just a warrior, he was a tactician. And so he devised a plan. He faked his own death. His warriors, dressed in mourning, carried his lifeless body to the gates of Luna, begging for him to be given a Christian burial inside the city. The gates opened, and when the Norsemen were inside, Bjorn Ironside rose from his coffin, sword in hand, and the city fell in flames. The Mediterranean had never seen such fearless fury, and Bjorn Ironside became a name that haunted the south. The return to the north, a king without chains. After years of conquest, after raiding the richest lands in the world, Bjorn returned to the north, his ships heavy with treasure, his name spoken in awe. But Bjorn was not meant to serve another king. He was meant to rule, and so he claimed the throne of Sweden, carving his own kingdom from the wild lands, where the Northmen would follow only him. No longer was he just the son of Ragnar. No longer was he just a Viking raider. He was Bjorn Ironside, King of the North, a ruler whose legend would never fade. Outro, the immortal name. Kings fall, empires crumble, but legends never die. Bjorn Ironside was more than a warrior, more than a conqueror. He was a force of nature, a Viking whose name would live on long after his bones had turned to dust. And when the sagas are sung, when the fires burn and the warriors drink to the old gods, one name will always be remembered: Bjorn Ironside, the Viking who could not be broken, the warrior who became a king, the legend who conquered the world. Thank you for watching the legendary saga of Bjorn Ironside, the Viking who became a king. If you enjoyed this epic tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another legendary story from history. Let us know in the comments which Viking warrior should we cover next, or what part of Ivar's story fascinated you the most. Until next time, Skull, keep exploring the past, because history is full of warriors, kings, and legends waiting to be told.